You're my only child, Mia, so you are now my heir. When I die, you will be the ruler of Genovia. So please remember, an heir is a child who will become a king or queen when the parents die. I hiccuped again. Hiccup, hiccup. You hiccup when you are nervous. I hiccuped again. This was really embarrassing. The people who were sitting on the table beside us were staring at me. They were looking at me. Mia, said my dad, are you listening? Dad, please excuse me for a minute, I said. I have to go to the bathroom. I went into the ladies' room. The ladies' room is a bathroom for women. The ladies' room at the plaza is very beautiful. The plaza is a very famous hotel in New York. It's near the Central Park. The ladies' room at the plaza is very beautiful. The walls and the carpets are pink. There are mirrors and little couches everywhere. I thought about what my dad had said. He's the Prince of Genovia. I'm beginning to understand some things that I didn't understand before. When I fly to France, there's always a huge limousine, very large special car waiting for me at the airport. When I go shopping with my grandmother, we always visit stores in the evening. We go shopping after ordinary people have gone home. We are always the only customers in the stores. Most people have never heard of Genovia. It's a small country near France in this story. Nobody famous has come from there, but it is a very beautiful country. The weather is warm and sunny. In the north, there are mountains covered with snow. In the south, there is the blue Mediterranean Sea. In the center of the country, there are hills covered with olive trees. Olive oil is Genovia's main export. Genovia sells a lot of olive oil to other countries. There's a royal palace. The king and queen live there. There's a royal palace in Genovia. I've passed it lots of times when I was in the car with Grand-mère. Remember, Grand-mère is French for grandmother. So she calls her grandmother Grand-mère. But she never told me who lived in it. My hiccups have gone now. I'll go back to my dad. Late afternoon, the penguin house at Central Park Zoo. Remember, in this story, this is a diary. This is called the Princess Diaries. So she writes in her diary. So late afternoon, the penguin house at Central Park Zoo. I've had a second shock. I'm not going to tell anybody about my family. I'm not even going to tell Lily. She won't understand. No one will understand. I'm really upset. This is what happened. When my hiccups disappeared, I returned to the Palm Court dining room. Remember, they are in the Plaza Hotel, and the Plaza Hotel has many different restaurants, and one restaurant is called the Palm Court Dining Room. My dad was speaking on his cell phone. He was talking to my mom. Yes, I told her, he was saying. No, she doesn't seem upset. He looked at me. Are you upset? No, I said. I wasn't upset. Not then. My dad ended the call. Did you understand what I told you, Mia? He asked. Yes, I said. You're the Prince of Genovia. Yes, he said. But you're not Mia Thermopolis anymore. Remember, her name is Mia Thermopolis. I'm not? I said. Then who am I? What is my name? You're Amelia Mignonette Grimaldi Thermopolis Rinaldo Princess of Genovia, said my dad, a little sadly. Rich people have long names. Amelia Mignonette Grimaldi Thermopolis Rinaldo Princess of Genovia, said my dad, a little sadly. What? A princess? Me? It can't be true. My mouth opened, but no words came out. I started to cry. My dad leaned across the table and touched my hand. It won't be so bad, he said. You'll like living at the palace in Genovia with me. You can visit New York. You can see your friends as often as you want. Then I got mad. I was so angry that I stopped crying. I don't want to live in Genovia, I said in a loud voice. Everyone in the dining room turned and looked at me. My dad was shocked. Mia, he said, I thought that you understood. I understand only one thing, I said. You lied to me all my life. You never told me the truth about your family. And why do I have to live with you in Genovia? I stood up quickly and ran out of the hotel. I ran all the way down the street and into the middle of Central Park. It was getting dark, but I didn't think about this. Suddenly, I saw the gates of Central Park Zoo. I've always loved that zoo. I paid my entrance money and went into the penguin house. The funny little black and white birds swam around their pool, and I watched them. Then I sat down and took my diary out of my bag. I'm writing in my diary now. What am I going to do? I can't leave New York and live in Genovia. Evening. Of course, I couldn't hide in the penguin house forever. When the zoo closed, I took a bus home. My mom and dad were sitting at the kitchen table. The phone was in front of them. They both began talking at the same time. Are you okay? Where have you been? Asked my mom. We've been so worried, said my dad. I ran away. I'm sorry, I said. Then I went into the bathroom and took a bath. After lying in the hot water for a long time, I put on my favorite pajamas. Then I picked up Fat Louie, her cat. Then I picked up Fat Louie and went to bed. Before I fell asleep, I heard my mom talking in the kitchen. Chapter 3, Lily's Place. Friday, October 3rd. Home. When I woke up today, I felt better. It's Friday, the day before the weekend. Friday is my favorite day of the week. Mom was in the kitchen making breakfast. Dad was there too. He was sitting at the table and reading the New York Times. The New York Times is a newspaper. And then I remembered, I'm a princess. Suddenly I felt unhappy again. We need to talk, Mia, said my dad. He folded his newspaper and laid it on the table. Come and sit down. Mia, have some breakfast, said my mom. I've made everything that you like. I didn't want to talk about my future in Genovia. I have to go to school, I said. Sit down, said Dad loudly. I sat down and Mom put some food onto my plate. Mia, she said, think of the lovely, wonderful things that you can have in Genovia. When you're 16, you can have a car. Dad will buy you a car for your 16th birthday. I don't want a car, I said. You've always wanted a horse, haven't you? She said. You could have a horse in Genovia, a nice gray one. My eyes filled with tears and I started to cry. Mom, I said, why are you saying this? Don't you love me anymore? Why are you making me leave? Why do I have to live with Dad? Is it because you and Mr. Giannini don't... Mr. Giannini is Mia's math teacher, and he is dating with Mia's mother. Then my mom started crying too. She jumped up from her chair and put her arms around me. No, Mia, she said. I just want the best thing for you. So do I, said my dad. Well, I want to stay here and finish high school, I said. That's the best thing for me. Then I'm going to join Greenpeace. I'm going to save whales from danger. Greenpeace is an organization that tries to fix world problems such as pollution, global warming, etc. Then I'm going to join Greenpeace. I'm going to save whales from danger. You're not going to look after whales. You're not going to take care of whales, said my dad. Please, Philippe, said my mom. We can't talk about this now. Mia has to go to school. She's late. I started looking for my coat. Yes, I said. I have to get to the subway station. No, said my dad. Lars will drive you to school. Lars is a chauffeur or private driver. He drives for Mia's father. No, said my dad. Lars will drive you to school. But I have to meet Lily. I meet her every day, and we go to school together on the subway. Lars can pick up your friend too, said Dad. Lars is my dad's driver. He goes everywhere with my dad. Now I realize something. Lars isn't just my dad's driver. Lars is also my dad's bodyguard. His job is to protect my dad. Lars came up to the apartment and walked downstairs to the car with me. It was really embarrassing. Algebra class, math class. Lily was very surprised to see Lars. My dad's in town and Lars is my dad's driver, I said. Why are your eyes red? Asked Lily. Have you been crying? What's happened? Nothing has happened, I said. I didn't want to tell Lily the truth. Now I'm sitting here in algebra class, but I feel better. Nobody can make me a princess. This is America. People are free in America. They can live in any place and in any way that they want. If I don't want to be a princess, I don't have to be one. I'll tell my dad tonight. Late evening. Lily's bedroom. I didn't go to my extra algebra class with Mr. Giannini this afternoon. Remember, Mr. Giannini is a math teacher, and Mia has trouble in math. She's failing. She won't get her credits, so she has to study extra with Mr. Giannini. I didn't go to my extra algebra class with Mr. Giannini this afternoon. When school finished, I spoke to Lily. Can I stay at your place tonight? I asked. She said yes, so I called my mom. Can I stay the night at Lily's apartment? I asked her. But Mia, your father wanted to have another talk with you this evening. I'll be home tomorrow, Mom, I said quickly, and I won't forget to do the shopping on the way home. Saturday, October 4th, early morning, Lily's place. I always have a great time when I stay with Lily. The Moscovitses are nice, and their apartment is huge, very large. Lily's family is the Moscovits, so Lily Moscovitz, but the family is called the Moscovitzes. Lily's parents, the doctors Moscovitz, never forget to pay bills. They always have delicious food in their refrigerator. They even buy vegetarian food for me to eat. I love my mom very much, but she spends a lot of time in her art studio. She doesn't spend much time at home with me. Sometimes Mom forgets to pay the bills. Sometimes she even forgets to buy food. I want my mom to be like Lily's mom. I want my dad to be like Lily's dad. At Lily's place, I can relax. I feel very comfortable and happy there. When I am with the Moscovitzes, the father and mother and daughter, when I'm with the family, I don't worry about algebra, math. I don't worry about being a princess. Last night, Lily's parents went out. So Lily and I climbed into their huge bed and watched James Bond movies on their big TV. Then Lily's brother Michael came into the room. So here's a picture. This is Mia, and this is Lily, and Lily's brother Michael. Your dad is on the phone, he said to me. I don't want to speak to him, I replied. Okay, said Michael. You and Lily already went to bed. I'll tell him that. Michael went and spoke to my dad again. Then he came back and watched James Bond movies with us. We had a really good conversation about our favorite actors and actresses. When Lily's parents came home, Lily and I went back to her room. Mia, who do you like more? Who do you prefer? Asked Lily. Josh Richter or my brother Michael? Josh Richter, I said. Remember, Josh Richter is another student at her school, and he's a senior. He's in the 4th grade of high school. I'm in love with Josh Richter. He's the best looking boy in the school. I love his blonde hair and the blue eyes. But later, I thought about Michael. He isn't as good looking as Josh, but he makes me laugh. One time, I saw Michael coming out of his bedroom. He wasn't wearing a shirt, and he looked really good. I've never told Lily my thoughts about her brother. She'll think that I'm weird.